And we're live. Wrong button. Hey everyone, welcome to the Realtor to Realtor seminar made by yours truly. And to get right into this presentation, here's a little bit of our overview because I know your time is valuable and I wouldn't want to waste any of it, especially because we're on the clock. So we're going to go over optimizing your Instagram, how to track your progress, your caption strategy, some super secret automation tool that I've used and kind of just started using that you guys could implement into your business and really help you guys out with that. Posting on multiple platforms, a little bit of lip syncing, some color theory, specific posts for different outcomes, boosting your engagement, your growth strategy, and your Q&A. My goal for this seminar is to give you guys everything you need to improve your video. At the very end of the seminar, once it's all said and done, I'm also going to send you the link to my very first seminar because that one teaches you all the little buttons and the little tricks to use a reel and to make a video. When you then pair it with this one, that's going to allow you not only to make your reels, but then to take it to the next level and use some of these tips and tricks that I'm going to be going in this seminar to enhance it and to really start flourishing. So without further ado, let's get right to the next slide. So first step, you want to optimize your IG profile. It's pretty much all a funnel. As any, you guys are all salespeople. We all know, we all want to push people down the funnel. And so at the very top of the funnel, that's when people see your content. That's when they see your reel. And then, the level right underneath that is they probably liked your reel or they liked some of your posts or they shared it or they saved it, right? But they're still not following you. You want to get people from social media to then start following you. And once they start following you, that's when they're going to start, seeing more of your content. And as they see more of it, they're going to begin engaging. And as they begin engaging, that's when you're going to create your raving fan. And one day, sooner or later, hopefully, they're going to reach out to you whenever a real estate need arises. So similar to how you get, a cold call and you try to push them down the funnel, think of social media essentially the same way, right? In your IG bio and your profile, you want to take out all hashtags. You want to take out all your ads to other accounts. You want to take out full sentences and all the fluff for the most part. And so here's one of the first parts where you can follow along. So if you go to your Instagram, the first step that you need to do to optimize is you want to pretty much go on your Instagram profile. From there, you're going to click on this little hamburger icon or widget. At least I believe it's called a hamburger. That's what I call it. Then that's going to pull up the settings menu. From there, you're going to click on settings. Then step number 3 is you're going to click on account. And then after you click on account, you're then going to see a part on the bottom where it says switch account type. What switch account type does is that it allows you to pretty much go to become a creator account. Now, the reason why you want a creator account versus a business account is that the creator account gives you all the same insights and analytics that a business account has, but it also gives you more creative freedom to use the certain audios, like songs that you may like or certain trendy audios. They may be restricted on the business account due to licensings and things of that nature. So make sure that when you switch account type, that you become a creator account, not a business account. That's step number 1 to optimizing.
Hey, John,
Yes,
I had serious problems logging in. So where are you?
I'm
Ditto.
on
Ditto.
Authoring. Yeah, I'm getting a bunch of text right now. I'm gonna redo this class for everyone. It's gonna be recorded, of course. I'm then just gonna pick a day and time that kind of works for everyone after Mega Camp to
Oh,
kind of
no.
redo the class. Just because I'm getting a bunch of text right now. I am super sorry about that. Eventbrite is not the best platform, which is
Mm-mm.
what I learned. But nevertheless, I'm gonna redo the class for everyone. No worries. Um, and luckily for you, we're still kind of just started. So,
Oh,
step number 2 to optimizing your profile is we're gonna start at the top. Your username. You want to make sure that your username incorporates something that's real estate related. So whether that's realtor, real estate, realty, homes, something that's real estate related, because that is searchable, and you want people to be able to search and find you very easily. The next step is your photo has to be the same across all platforms. I literally just changed my profile photo this morning, and I had to go on Instagram, Facebook, my Linktree, my Google My Business. You want to make sure all your platforms across everywhere, even if it's not social media related, has the same headshot. You want people to be easily recognize you across any platform. You don't want them to have to second guess to see if this is the right person or not. The very next one is your name. Your name in right underneath that is the category, which is right underneath where it says real estate agent. You want that to also have who you are and where you serve and what you do. So for me, I'm a realtor and investor in Connecticut. You want that to be very clear, because that is also searchable. And Instagram recently has started moving from hashtags and stuff like that to more SEO, kind of like TikTok, which I'll go a little bit more into later. The next step under that is your bio. Now, your bio, you only have 4 lines. If it says see more underneath the bio, it is too long. You need to shorten it. So your first 1 to 2 lines should be what you do and where. Back a couple months ago or so, we were on Early Birds, and we practiced our one-liner just in case if someone were to, ask you at a Starbucks, what do you do? You want to be able to then tell them directly and quickly and efficiently what it is exactly that you do, right? So that's where you put your one-liner. The line after that is something that's unique or personal. So for me, I'm bilingual, so I want people to know I speak Spanish. And then the last line should be a call to action. So my call to action right here is free real estate consultation below. And then I get them to click the link, right? It could be free equity analysis. It could be free resources, free buyer home guide. It could be whatever you like, but have a call to action directly below. And something that I'll get into a little bit more, if you can see here, I said earlier, don't have any ads to other account, because that's then going to make people click off your page to go to that other page. Right now, I'm strategically trying to build my podcast, which is the only reason I have this on my page. Once my podcast gets a little bit of rhythm on its own, I'm going to take that off of my personal page. That way I can retain as many people to hop on. You want to think everyone that's viewing your profile is a high D, for everyone that knows this. You want to get direct and to the point. They shouldn't have to spend, hours trying to figure out what it is that you do. It should be easily stated that you're in this specific industry. And for pretty much virtually everyone that's on the call, it's real estate. So as you can see, I have realtor here, realtor, real estate, real estate consultation, John Mendes Realtor, real estate. It's multiple pages, like points on my bio. It says that I'm in real estate. It makes it easy for everyone. The next step is you only get one website link. No matter, how many followers you have, you only get one link. So the link that I use is Linktree, and for anyone that may not know what Linktree is, it's essentially a free tool that you can use it's kind of like a landing page, and then you could connect all your social media profiles to it and all your other links. So, and that I have the link to my Calendly to schedule a free real estate consult. I have a link to some free resources, a link to our KW website that we all have, a link to the KW app on that one landing page. So Instagram, TikTok, Facebook as well. Most social media platforms only give you one link. So you want to make sure that you use that link wisely, and you push everyone, as I said, down that funnel into that link. The next thing that a lot of people tend to forget is your highlights. Instagram allows you to save your highlights and put it into a format here, so people can then come back to it and click it. This is a great way to get people to know you a little bit more. You should always have something that's about you, something that's real estate related, something that's interesting, and then the other 2 for the most part are up to you. I say you shouldn't have more than 5. Some people do, but more than 5, that's just more so for like personal reasons, so that you can, let's say you go on vacation one time, or you go to mega camp or family reunion. you can save those highlights there. But the more stuff you get people to look at, the more distracted they'll get. So right now, I think I'm at 5 or 6. I think I'm at 6. There's another one that you guys can't see, but that's just for me. And then the very last one that you want to do to optimize your profile is to make sure your top content is pinned right here. Actually, I'll get back to you once we get to the Q&A. I just want to make sure I'm able to get through everything because we had a bit of a wild start, but no worries. I'm going to be redoing the class, so I'll make sure to cover all your questions. So yeah, make sure you pin your top performing post at the top. That's kind of like your resume a little bit. If people want to find out a little bit more about you and your personality, they can then click on your post to see if they like it, and from there, if they grab your attention, they're going to be more likely to follow your account. All right, and here's how you want to track your progress, right? From that main profile account, you want to click on Insights. From Insights, this page should pop up. Once you click on Insight, you click on Accounts Reached, and then the only thing that you have to do is scroll down a little bit, and then you'll see your top posts, your top stories, and your top reels. You want to replicate what is working. Don't try to reinvent the wheel every single time. You want to see what is working on your account and just use that as much as you can, right? There's content creators that I follow, and a third of their content, a guy that I follow whose name is Brock 11 Johnson, I highly suggest following him. He has over 500,000 followers. He's an Instagram coach. And one thing that he does, a third of his content is just the same information, just redone under another audio. You don't have to keep on redoing because most people haven't seen your content. As you know, when you do reels, it gets pushed out to more non-followers than it does to actual followers. And then for people that might have seen the content, they most likely don't remember what the content was. So just recreate what works using different audios and maybe change up the color of the text a little bit so it looks a little different, and just keep on, repeating what works. So that's how you track your progress. Here's what I do for my captions. Right now I'm currently posting about a video a day on my personal page and about 3 to 4 on my Walk to Wealth, my podcast page, videos every single day. So I don't have time to write up new captions. For the most part, I only change about this top portion right here. Usually it's maybe a sentence. Sometimes when I, do like trendy, shorter trendy reels and I can't get the value from the reel, but I get the engagement, I'll put the value in the caption. That way, if someone wants to read, let's say I say top 5 ways to, save money. On my video, I have the quick text pop up, and then in the caption, I'll go a little bit more into each of the things that popped up. So that's one thing that you can do when you're doing like more speaking videos where you're teaching people, hey, here's what's going on in the 2022 housing market, and you go more into depth. For those reels, I usually just use one sentence because most of the value you're gonna be giving in the actual video and on the text that pop onto the screen. So you could, go into depth into writing it in the caption, but it's not necessary. And the way I structure my caption is I got from a realtor by the name of Chris Perry, who I, follow almost religiously. He's a realtor out of Maryland, and he has, I believe he did 18 million last year in volume off of Instagram solely. So this is how he structures his caption. So I use the same thing. So it's a call to action, which is follow my account and add me to your favorites. It's my value. This is the call to action to have in my bio, free real estate consultation, because I want to push people down the funnel, as I was saying earlier. I want everyone to click that link in the bio, and I have it in Spanish because I'm also bilingual. So just in case anyone that's Spanish speaking see it, I have it there as well. Then I have a little bit of space, and then I have some hashtags. I'm going to go more in depth into hashtags later. I have some location hashtags just so people know where to find me. I also geotag a lot. But don't waste your time on hashtag. SEO is far more important now than videos. And I know in my very first seminar back in February, I went in depth as to like a whole bunch of hashtags you can use. Honestly, you don't need a lot. And some people may say you don't need any. But I'll go more into that later. Right now, you should be focused on providing more value in your content, creating a community, and targeted engagement. So reaching out to people specifically and engaging with them. That's going to help you gain more reach, more visibility than any hashtag would. Okay. So, Carol, I'll come back to this in a little bit, okay? What is ManyChat? So ManyChat is the secret automation platform that no one ever will tell you about because most realtors are not influencers. And most realtors are getting their information from other realtors. Whereas I'm getting my information from the influencers because it's the same thing as when we call for sale by owner and ask them why would they sell their own house without being a realtor. Is the same reason why you should get social media advice from a realtor. Get it from the influencers, right? So social media is a free chat box AI. There are paid versions. I have the free version because I still can't grasp my head around the free version because that's how in-depth and dynamic this platform is. You can create so many different automations that respond to DMs, respond to comments, things like that. The platforms that it has, I think you have to have the paid version to get access to all of these, but you can use Instagram for free, which is what I'm doing. And the automations are only limited to your creativity. And so you can get as creative as you want. And if you're someone that knows how to really work and how to program a little bit, or if you have a VA that knows how to program, ManyChat can do wonders for your business. And there's a Facebook support group with over 100,000 members that you can just go in and ask people like, hey, I want to do XYZ. If there's anyone that done it, can I get some tips, pointers, etc. And they also have a bunch of training videos. Now here's where I used it in my business because I wouldn't want to promote it if I didn't use it myself. So this is my actual Instagram post to promote this class. As you can see in the caption down here, I said comment the word Reels to receive the link. That's my call to action. I wanted everyone to comment the word Reels. So as you can see through all of these, right, whenever someone commented Reels, in real time, right, only seconds after, a minute, you can also delay it as much as you like to make it sound a little more realistic. So you can put the delay on 10 seconds or 1 minute or 30 seconds so it doesn't sound like, you automatically respond like a robot. And it responds to all of them, as you can see. Thanks for commenting. Check your DMs, right? So my good friend Ryan Woods, who is a realtor down south, also in KWIP, giving him a quick shout out, he commented Reels. That was the trigger, right? I told him to comment Reels, right? This is our DM messages. I said, hey, can you do me a small favor? He said, sure, what's up? I said, I learned a new trick on Instagram. Can you comment the word Reels on my latest IG post? Which was this one that I'm showing you guys. And then as soon as he commented the word Reels, 10 seconds after, this is what pops up. Hey, John Bot here. My masterclass is on leveling up your content on Instagram so that you massively increase your reach and engagement. The class is on August 19th. And this is him pretty much speechless after. Because I didn't have to type that. That was automatically sent to him. And when they click I want access, which you can write the words that you want, that then sends them the link to sign up for the class. And so the reason why this is powerful is because when you have links on your on your actual post and you click people off of the the Instagram platform or any platform, Instagram doesn't see that people like your content. Instagram sees that people seen your content and left the platform. So in the algorithm's eyes, although you may be getting a lot of clicks to join your seminar, the algorithm thinks that your content is bad because every time someone sees your content, they're leaving the platform. So this is the best way to get your links out there to people without damaging your reach in the algorithm. And now one thing that we do all the time on Early Birds is the last Thursday of every month, I believe, we talk about events. Right now, what are a lot of people doing? They're doing, football season opener signups. They're doing back to school signups and giveaways and things like that. Imagine you posted on your Instagram or your Facebook, comment the word schools to be entered in our back to school season opener giveaway, and you spend maybe 5-10 minutes setting this up, or you have your VA set it up. Now you have everyone commenting the word schools. You're out and about. You could be doing your showing. You could be at a listing presentation. You can be driving around doing whatever you'd like, hang around, maybe at a happy hour. And the automation is going to be reaching out to these people, DMing them, responding to the comments, and then sending them the link so they can sign up while you go about your day and do whatever you like. So that's the power of ManyChat, and that's just with the free version. As I said, you can get as creative as you like, and this way it's kind of like you having a 24/7 VA that doesn't sleep, and it always is running until you turn it off. So now to shift, pivot a little bit, we're gonna go on to posting on multiple platforms, because if you're posting on one, you might as well just post on the other, right? You don't have to recreate new content. TikTok and Instagram, they don't want to see the opposites logo on their platforms. So when you do post a video that has the logo, it usually decreases your engagement and your reach a ton. Um, so if you want to convert your TikToks to your Reels, snaptik.app. That's the website that you can use to remove the TikTok watermark to your Instagram Reels. All right. And if you want to convert your Reels to TikTok, you want to do instafinsta.com. Usually, I don't know how it works, but they can tell that you've removed the watermark, typically because the quality of the video tends to get slightly blurry, and it may decrease your engagement, but rather a slight decrease than a massive decrease. So that's a quick and easy way to remove the watermarks and then post on other platforms. You can also do that to post on Facebook or YouTube Shorts or whatever platform else you'd like. Here's 5 quick steps to learn how to lip sync, because bad lip syncing leads to lower engagement, and the audio has to line up, because as humans, our mind is not wired to be able to process things when they don't match up. It feels awkward to our brain, right? And that's why it leads to lower engagement. And if you guys are going to be making more reels, you guys are eventually going to have to lip sync to hop on a trend if you guys choose to, and better to have the steps than not to, right? So the first step is pretty straightforward, just practice a little bit. The second step is to record on half speed. So when you're on Reels, as you can see all my pivot friends over here, right on this 1x widget, if you click on this, it'll give you an option to change the speeds at which you can record. That way you can slow down the audio and lip sync it a lot easier, because you're not trying to race to keep up with the words, and then the video will still post in regular speed. So it's kind of like cheating. The third tip is to actually say the words. So if you're in a room with other people, you might look awkward talking to a screen, but make sure you actually enunciate the words in real time instead of just trying to mouth it, because if you mouth it, it's not going to look as realistic. Actually say the words like you were talking to someone. The fourth step is just to loop the audio, a couple times over. And the last one that you probably haven't heard about is that you want to start lip syncing before the video starts. That's because there's a bit of a buffer between when you press record and when the actual video records. So you have to start mouthing the words a couple, like a half second-ish or so before, so that when the actual video posts, your words and the audio line up. So start, mouthing the words a little bit before you record. Okay. Here's the next thing that no one else is probably teaching you. Color theory, right? Because colors actually matter. And you guys all have brands, you guys all have logos, and you guys all choose your colors specifically when you're choosing your logos. And it's the same thing with video. The same exact thing. So red is usually to stop and grab people's attention, right? Orange is when you want to have, portray confidence and success. A yellow, which is kind of blending in with the background, is about energy and excitement. Green is about action, quality, and fresh. Usually you put those when let's say you say follow for more, say for more. When you want someone to do something, you use green. Blue is trust, peace, and competence. Purple is luxury and ambition. Black is more formal, secure, and serious. White is pure, honest, and clean. And then pink is sophisticated and compassion. So when you're doing your audios and your videos, and you have something in the text in the reel, or even if it's a long form video as well, take this into consideration and be more conscious of the message that you're putting out with the colors that you're using, instead of just using random colors, because this can actually increase your engagement and increase the likelihood that when people listen, they're actually going to do what you're doing. Because if you get, say, follow for more, but it's in all red, they might not follow because it's you're telling them to kind of stop. Whereas if you say it in green, green promotes action, they might be more likely to then follow for more, right? So, this I'm going to be sending out in the replay. So if you forget, you'll have it there. Now, here are the best types of posts for specific types of engagement because different posts elicit different responses and different results. So if you want to get more likes, you want to do single images and pretty things and quotes, right? So this could be, your more personal photos. This could be your selfies at the beach, your photos from Mega Camp next week, things like that. It could be a quote that you've seen and you put like on a little nice background. Or if you see like the sunset, or you're by the beach or, on the boardwalk, it could be things like that. That usually gets the most amount of likes. For comments, you want to post something controversial, opinions and questions. So this could be where you could say, here's why the housing market actually isn't going to crash like the news says, right? That's something controversial. It's going against the tide a little bit. That's going to stir up people to, be curious and start engaging in your comments. Or you could say, something along the lines of, what do you guys think? That will elicit people to start, commenting on your post. If you want shares, you want to, talk about news. So here's what just happened to the 2022 mortgage rates, right, and where they're projected to go. Opinions. So here's what I think about XYZ. Insights, and then motivational quotes. These usually get the most shares with people, and so make sure to keep that in mind. For saves, you want to usually give out carousels. I personally don't do carousels too much just because, you have to make them a little cutesy wootsy, and I'd rather make a video. But carousels actually are more likely to come onto the For You page, and they're actually likely to get a lot more saves because you can give out educational content. And let's say when someone's scrolling on, they're on Instagram, if you have a carousel of 4 or 5 photos, if they see the first photo and they don't like it, then that photo would then pop up, that carousel, but with a different photo. So photo number 2 might pop up now. And so it's more likely to reappear on someone's Instagram feed when you have a carousel. So make sure to use those. If you want more saves, you also should post educational tips and things like that. The next type. If you want more views, which is kind of the whole point of this video, Reels. Reels is where you want to be, right? You want to get on trends. That could be on TikTok. I know they do a lot more dancey trends, but on Instagram, you'll find that there's a lot more trends that you can do where you can actually, tie it back into real estate and provide some value that doesn't require you having to learn a new dance. And then looping videos, which I'll talk a little bit more about in a couple slides from here. And then the last and most important part is followers. So between followers and getting people to save the post, those are probably the 2 most valuable things that you can get people to do, according to Instagram. So if you want more followers, you want to have relatable reels and educational carousels. That's the easiest and most proven way to get more people to follow your page. And now that you have your Instagram bio and profile already optimized, you're going to be more likely to then convert the people that come across your page. And then when you're making a post, you have to ask yourself what type of engagement is this post most likely to receive. So if I made a reel on 3 steps to begin your home buying process, that is a educational reel. So I'm most likely to get more followers and more saves, right? And then in my call to action in the captions and at the end of the video, I'm going to then ask for more followers and more saves because that's the type of content that I was pushing out, and that's the content that I'm most likely to receive. The engagement that I'm most likely to receive. Okay, so now I'm going to be going over some proven ways to boost your engagement that no one seems to be mentioning, right? So the first way is to use alt text. Alt text stands for alternative text. Pretty much Instagram wants to become a more accessible platform for people who may be impaired in some way, shape, or form. There's some people that may have either like visual or auditory impairments, and so the alternative text it allows you to kind of, at least when you use it correctly, to describe your post and what does it look like, what's it about, and things like that. And a lot of people say to stuff it with keywords. It's not how you're actually supposed to use it. You're supposed to describe your post. So if you have your listing photos, I know a lot of you guys like to put the fanciest, most elegant listing description on the MLS. Literally copy and paste that, post your listing photo, and then put it into the alt text. A lot of people may not know where alt text are. So if you look at this photo right in the middle, when you're about to post a photo, it's kind of hidden. So you might have never heard of this. You would go to advanced setting, right? Once you click on advanced setting, you then get this screen to pop up. After that, you go to the bottom where it says write alt text. You click that and just literally whatever your listing photo description is that you have on MLS, copy and paste that right there into the alt text, and that's gonna help improve your searchability in the algorithm. And that's something that most people probably don't know because it's never really talked about. It's because Instagram wants to become a more accessible platform for people with all types of impairment. So that's what alt text does. The next couple ways to boost engagement is looping your videos. And this is best for speaking videos whenever you're giving out information. And what it is essentially you record a video about a particular topic. And at the very end of the video, you say something that leads into the next sentence. So let's say you start the video saying top 3 reasons to sell your house today. At the very end of the video, you say, and these are. You then clip the end of the video, move it to the beginning, and so the video then goes, and these are the top 3 tips to sell your house today. And so when it plays on Instagram, it looks kind of as if an infinity loop because it looks like there's no start or end to the video because you move the ending to the beginning. And because people don't know when the video ends, the video just kind of repeats and keep on repeating, thus boosting your watch time. And if you know anything from a couple of other videos, watch time is the most important metric on social media. That is, there's nothing that comes close to watch time. So that's a good one to do. And all you would do is you can either have there's literally an app called Splice. Splice is also the action that you can use. But there's an app called Splice and there's an app called CapCut, which are probably the top 2 editing apps that you could use for your social media videos. And all you do, as I said, just cut the last part, make sure it flows into the beginning of the sentence that you start the video with, move it over, and then upload it like that. And then just going to start looping. The second thing is the 2-second rule. And this is also great for speaking videos. The 2-second rule kind of comes from the media and film industry. And what it is that you have to change your scenery every 2 seconds because that's how long the human attention span lasts. So if you have a still setting and a still background and you're just talking and nothing's moving, it's still, you're more likely to get less engagement because the human mind already, you lost them. They were not captivated. So every 2 seconds or maybe after every sentence, you want to then change the scenery. That could be you zooming in, you could be you zooming out, you could be changing your outfit, putting a hat on, talking inside and then taking a step outside really quickly, or you just turning around so you have a different, background behind you, right? So every 2 seconds, you want to then change the scenery to keep people captivated by your content. Or it could be something like you have every 2 seconds words pop up. You want people to constantly be engaged throughout the entire video. The next thing that you want to do to boost engagement, and this is something that I kind of had to learn and really, take my ego back because as you know, once you start posting good content and it starts getting a lot of engagement, you then get notifications. You see the notifications, you then get a boost in your dopamine, and it's like addicting in a way. And that's how social media gets you. You want to shift your focus from not looking at the vanity metrics. You want to focus on community, value, and creating impact, which is what we talk about in Pivot Shift literally all the time. You don't want to focus on your likes and your views and things like that. Focus on your community, on providing value, and then impact. The last 3 ways that I have here to boost your engagement is closed captions. Now, majority of IG, I believe if I'm not mistaken, it's about 80% of IG viewers when they're on social media scrolling through these videos, they have their audio on mute. They're not scrolling with the video on. So when you have closed caption, not only does it make the video more dynamic, which is kind of what I was talking about with the 2-second rule, It also helps people that don't have their audio on get interested in your, in your video, which then hopefully they turn the audio on to actually watch the whole thing. So you want to make sure you have closed caption. Instagram itself already has closed captions built into the app, but if you don't want to use the Instagram one, if you want to get more creative, there's an app called Captions for talking videos or speaking videos on the App Store. I believe it's on Google Play. It may not be, but in an App Store called Captions for speaking videos or Captions for talking videos. I forget what it's called. That's what I use for my podcast page for all my videos on there. You want to have no fancy talk, and by that means don't use any lingo that we use with each other when we're role playing or when we're talking to each other. Assume no one knows what FISBO means or PMI or APR, things like that. Things that we know that is common knowledge for us. When you're in your videos, assume no one knows any of that stuff. So that way people can actually understand easily and don't have to think about what it is that you're actually saying. And then the last one is you want an easier call to action. Some realtors at the end of their videos will be like, call me if you want to schedule a consultation today. That's wrong. Don't do that, because that then makes people leave the app, and people don't want to leave the app. They just want to continue staying on the platform. So I'm going to have a list of call to actions at the very end, but you want to say, like for more, follow for more, comment below. Things that are easier for people to do. Don't lead people off the platform or lead people to elsewhere, because the algorithm only sees people leaving. They don't see people following what you do. And if people are leaving, the algorithm thinks you have bad content. You don't want that. Here we're going to go about the truth about hashtags. So, do you need hashtags to grow? In short, no. Instagram is focusing on SEO, which is kind of what I was talking about earlier. And here are 7 quick tips. You want to have specific keywords in your bio. That's where you want to stuff all the real estate, realtor, buyer, seller, home buy. That's where you stuff all your keywords. You want to write captions that include commonly searched words. Another way to see what people are searching for is Answer the Public, or I think it's called answerthepublic.com. You can go on there and see what people are looking at on Google. And it gives you a whole entire list. It's called answerthepublic.com. I want to include text on your actual content. That's when you're making the videos and you have the stuff flying around and the title and things like that. That's what it means by text on your content. You want to leave content on other pages with keywords that relate to your niche. So I actively engage with other realtors that are in social media, so then my algorithm can see that I'm engaging with real estate related content, and then they'll know that that's topically consistent, so they'll then categorize me as a realtor or in the real estate agent category. You want to pin comments that include keywords, which is super easy to do. And then you want to respond to comments using commonly searched keywords. So if someone says, hey, how do I do that? And say, this is how you buy a home in Connecticut. You want to use your keywords when you're responding. Just always think about keywords. And the last one, add alt text that accurately reflects the content. Don't just ram keywords in there. Actually describe whatever it is that you have. And this content strategy is kind of what I've started doing recently. It's called a 10x2 strategy. It's by an influencer that partnered with a guy named Brock 11 Johnson, which is someone I followed. This is how he grew his account from 0 followers to 100,000 followers in only 12 months. And so you want to pick 10 niche accounts that are in real estate, as we're all in, that have the audience that you want. So that's 10,000 followers, or maybe 1,000 followers, and maybe 100,000 followers, or maybe 1 million, and that are doing and performing and producing content that actually gets engagement. And you want to follow those niche accounts. You want to add them either to your favorites, and then you want to turn on their notifications. That way you'll always see their content. You want to track what they're doing. You want to see how they're posting, where they're posting, length of video that they're posting, what videos they're using. What text are they using? What color text are they using? You want to keep track of that, but only for these specific 10 people. Everyone else you could just scroll past. They're not important for these purposes, right? Then you want to leave 2 pieces of engaging comments, or 2 pieces of engagement. So that could be either a like, it could be a comment, a story reply, DM, replying to others people's comments within the comment section. The mini chat automation that I was referring to earlier doesn't count. You want to actually have to do this organically. And then just rinse, wash, repeat. Just keep on doing this. That'll lead to about 80. If you do this 4 times a day per day, that leads to about 80 connections every day. And then from those 80 connections every day, in a month's time span, that leads to about 3,000 connections in a month. And then if you do that for the course of a year, you have over 36,000 genuine pieces of engagement with different people in the niche that you're trying to grow in, which is real estate. And this pretty much trains the algorithm to know where you're categorized in. It forces you to engage. Kind of think of it like the DTD2 for social media. It increases your visibility and allows you to make more connections, which is what we all want, to build connections and make community, because we're all not transactional realtors, right? And then learn how to make good content, because you're seeing and you're constantly watching what these people in your niche accounts are doing, and you see firsthand what they're doing. So after a certain point in time, that's just going to rub off on you. And then so right here, I have a list of hooks. I'm not going to read all of them. I just kind of have it for photo purposes. So if anyone want to take a quick photo, you guys also are going to have the replay. So it's going to be there as well. These are just a bunch of hooks that you could use whenever you're starting a video. Let's see. I'm going to give that a couple seconds. And then the last thing is a list of call to actions. So this is something that you could also do. So back to what I was saying earlier about the easier call to actions, I put the more difficult ones on the bottom. So turn on post notifications. A lot of people don't know how to do that, so that's might not be something that you would want to always say. Share this with a friend. That may be a little difficult for people. Introduce yourself below. That requires people to begin typing, so that may be a little bit more difficult. Share to your story. Don't ever put call me. Don't ever put email me. Don't ever put anything that requires anyone to leave the platform, because that is not going to do you any good. You want them to follow you and to see more of your content, so that one day when they are ready, they're going to think of you because you just provided so much more value. And back to what I said in the very, very first seminar I did, if I'm not mistaken, it was 51% of the highest quality level leads came from social media, according to the NAR 2021 report for realtors. The 2022 one, it didn't really come out. It kind of did, but it wasn't as informative as the last one. But according to the 2021 one, the highest one was social media with 51%. So here are some call to actions there. And then hopefully I burst your brain a little bit. That's the QR code to my Instagram. Let's fire away with some questions to see what you guys had. I know Carol had a couple. I know, let's see, Valerie. I'm not going to sing because I don't have vocals, but shoot me your question, Valerie.
When at the very beginning, you talked about a creator account. I followed your steps, and the only choices that I had were personal account or business account. I didn't see creator account. Do you have to have, had a certain amount of engagement or something to be able to be a creator or something?
So Instagram recently came out with updates. I know they were working on just turning personal accounts into a creator account. But if you can see the insights when you're on your main profile, then Instagram already updated and you already are a creator account. If you're when you're on your profile, if there's no tab to click on that says insights,
actually, because that was my next question, because when you said look at your profile, I did not see an insights button like you had.
Okay, so that means that you might have to click on convert to professional account, and then from professional account it should give you the option to either be a creator account or a business account, and then from there you would pick creator.
Okay.
Yeah. When you click on it, do you see the switch to professional account, what you say?
Hang on a second. Well, yeah, it was switch to personal and switch to professional.
Switch to professional and then pick creator account.
Oh gosh, now I have to figure out how to get back to that.
Alrighty, next question. I may butcher your name. I'm super, super sorry. Canada?
It's Canada.
I was close.
It's okay. Thank you. I'm a realtor here in Maryland, DMV area with the Optimism Group. I have a question regarding scheduling out reels ahead of time. Is there a way, I'm sure there is, to, do bulk recordings and then schedule out for the rest of the week?
Yeah, so I have, and I'm gonna ask you this later, but I'm pretty much what you can do is you can just have, if you have a talking video, just speak on a particular subject. This is the easiest way for 2 minutes, and then break it up into 30 seconds, and that's 4 videos right there. You don't have to post every single day, but that'll be enough to hold you out throughout the week. Um, right now, what I'm doing is I'm at least on my podcast page when I'm trying to ramp up. I'm doing about 3 to 4 or 5 videos a day, every day. And it takes me about an hour and a half. But that's kind of a cheat code that I developed that I may do another class about. Long story short is just record yourself and then cut it up into shorter parts. That is the easiest way to bulk record videos. And then to schedule them, when you schedule them, most scheduling platforms allow you, at least you can't really schedule reels. There's some platforms that recently allowed for it, but it is going to lower your engagement. But if that's what it takes to, actually get the videos out there, better that than no videos at all.
And what app do you recommend for that?
There is, I know, I think Monday is one of them that they use. I personally haven't used any, so I'm not the best one to know. But there's a lady called Modern Millie. Modern Millie she's another Instagram influencer that I follow. She uses the scheduling apps. You could also do it, if I'm not mistaken, Facebook and Instagram have a built-in scheduler that you could use.
Okay.
But there's that as well.
Cool. Thank you.
My pleasure. Carol, I missed you the first time.
So that guy that you said you follow, what was his name again?
It's either Brock 11 Johnson or Chris Perry Real Estate. Are the two
Chris
guys.
Perry Real Estate. So I was looking him up and I was gonna follow him, and he has like a monthly thing, costs like $4.99 a month to get his insights. Is that what you were talking about, following a real estate influencer? Like, is that worth
so Instagram recently
doing?
No, so Instagram I haven't. Chris Perry goes live usually once a week or twice a week, and I'm always on his live. He only goes live like around like 9 or 10 o'clock when his kids are asleep, but I'm usually on one of his lives. I go live with him. But what Instagram allowed influencers to do, and I don't know if there's a minimum. I believe you can start it at any follower count, but Instagram allows you to have like a subscription when people can pay you monthly to then get access to to better, I guess, more private content. So think of it kind of like think of it kind of like a Patreon for Instagram, because Instagram wants their influencers to be able to monetize. But Chris Perry is someone I follow.
You should totally do that, John.
That's
seriously.
a lot of work.
I know. You are that smart. Do that.
Maybe one of these days when I get a VA, I need to start selling some more houses first before I do that. But that's something that I might consider.
Okay.
But yeah. All right, Nisi, what you got?
So do you have a just John Mendez Instagram and a John Mendez real estate Instagram, or just one?
No, so I just have one Instagram, which is my John Mendez _realtor Instagram.
Realtor.
It's kind of a mix of personal and both. The reason why I did that is because I think I might have mentioned in one of the other seminars, but business accounts are dead. There's literally no point for business accounts anymore, whatsoever. Business accounts, for the most part, unless you're paying for engagement, usually you're not going to get any engagement. And that social media is about community. So you might post you could use it to post your reviews on a Canva background or your new listings in Just Sold. Might not get anyone to like it, but you could have it there. We're at a day and age where people want to know who you are more than they want to see what you're doing, type of thing. So trying to find a way to incorporate it with your personal page and just kind of transform that, because usually your personal page also has more followers as well. So why restart if you don't have to?
Okay, thank you.
Valerie, again.
Yeah, thank you. That fixed the first thing. Just a little nitpicky question. You're John Mendez _realtor.
Yeah.
I'm Valerie Presley Realtor, all blobbed together. I was just wondering, is it better to put the underscore so that it picks up the word realtor?
No, so what happened was there's this guy in New Jersey that I reached out to that has John Mendes Realtor, and I DM'd him and he left me on red. So until he replies back, I can't get the Instagram username that I want. But yeah, so someone else has the username that I wanted, but on virtually every other thing, I'm just John Mendes Realtor.
Oh, okay, gotcha.
Yeah. Alrighty, Betsy.
Hey, John, when you said business accounts are dead, did you mean on all social media platforms or just Instagram?
Pretty much all. Facebook has been dead for a while. Facebook has become so overly saturated. And you guys know, you guys have command. If you post something on your business account, good luck getting anyone to like it without anything.
Thanks.
Mm-hmm. And then do we have any more? Let's see if we have in the chat. Canada.
I have a question, I must say.
Yes.
If I were to give you my Instagram handle, could you look at it and see what needs to be improved or any suggestions that you may have?
That requires me to become an actual influencer coach then. Yeah, definitely. I wouldn't mind taking a couple of look. Whatever, it is to help you guys. You guys are the ones that came to support my very first class ever. That's paid. So yeah, I wouldn't mind at all. I wouldn't
Okay, I'm
mind at
gonna
all.
put it in the chat.
I might forget if you put it in the chat. DM me.
Oh, sure, I sure will. I'll do that right now. 'Cause I follow you anyway, so I'll do that.
Yeah. Let's analyzing one. That would be a great idea, Allison. That would be an amazing idea. Glenda, thanks for posting the links as well, Glenda. You are amazing.
Hey, John, thank you. Great content, by the way. I just wanted to ask, how are you identifying and then choosing trends that sort of align with real estate?
So that's the thing. I don't. I see trends and then I just find a way to tie it to real estate. But I promise you, it's not as hard. And you don't have to be as creative as you think. When you go on Instagram, the app, on the bottom middle widget that you see should be this section for reels, right? Just scroll through the reels. If you see an audio that literally catches your mind, or you see an audio that appears more than once, save the audio and either make a video right then and there, or just come back to it later. And then let's say there's a video of someone singing. Right? There was a video of singing, and they were singing. It's like, I'm not gonna be here for long. Has nothing to do with real estate. It's a general song, right? That you have to lip sync. I threw on my Michael Jackson costume, put on some fancy lights because I have LED lights in the background, and then my caption for that video was like, when someone comes to the open house 5 minutes before it's over, and had nothing to do with real estate originally. That video now has, if I'm not mistaken, over 7,000, close to 8,000 views and over 200 likes. So it doesn't have to be a real estate related trend. Just find a way.
Find a way to make it fit.
Yeah. So I just use a song. I'm not gonna be here for long. That's what the song said. I just put a caption because at open houses, when someone comes 5 minutes before, it's like, let's get to it because I have to go. Usually because I have my second job right after I do my open houses. So it's like I really have to go. So find a way, and you have a lot more real estate experience than I do. So it shouldn't be, too difficult for you to find some random story that you can just, try to tag along to whatever audio it is.
I don't know how long you've been in, John, but I'm relatively new. Hey, how do you feel about remixing reels?
So that's actually pretty new. That's more of a TikTok thing, and I actually haven't done that yet. That is a newer feature that they've been doing. I had someone remix one of my reels on my podcast page that did pretty well.
What does that mean?
Pretty much
Remix a reel.
Remix is like them like reposting it, kinda. It's literally brand new, and it's more of like a TikTok thing, which I'm not too in depth on. Instagram is like where I really spend virtually all my time. So that's what I know, like like the back of my hand. That just came out pretty recently, so I still have to figure that out, honestly. But it's essentially them like reposting the video that you made. Yeah.
Oh, got it.
Essentially, yeah, that's pretty much all it is.
Hey, John, did you cover like good times to post per day?
So we're at a point in time where just get it out.
Okay.
Yeah, just get it out. I'd say personally, from what I've realized, my best post is always sometime early in the morning. That's my post. My highest one right now has like a little over 43. I think I posted it at like, in my 43, I mean like 43,000. I posted that one I think like at 8 or 9 a.m. But that one didn't actually get views until literally a week after. So the first day or two, it had like a couple thousand, and then like a week after, it picked up steam and it started getting more likes. And then I went to go check it, and it was 10,000 one day, and then the next day went to 20, and the next day it ended up at 40. So that didn't go up until like a week after. So just get the get the content out there.
Okay, and then John, when you're doing reels and you have, different pictures, is there some type of app to use so that you can post different words on different pictures, as opposed to like when I do mine, it's all on this, it keeps going. The same thing I post on one goes to each one.
So are you talking about for the words?
Yes.
So for the words, if you're on the Reels app, if you're on Instagram and you're recording your Reels,
Yeah.
then at the bottom of the screen, also the little words that you typed, you're gonna click on them, and then you're just gonna slide the duration to the parts of the video that you want it. And as long as you're on the Instagram app and you're editing on the Instagram app, when you type the words, it allowed you to change the duration of the words, and then you could just play around with it there to then have something in the beginning or something in the end or something in the middle. And that's how it'll, stop when the different frames come up, instead of just lasting the whole video. Put the words, edit the words in on the Instagram app, and then slide around with the duration.
May I ask a really, maybe it's a silly, dumb question, but I was told one time, like in Facebook, so like if everybody on your groups are realtors and you're a realtor, is that like, do you want people to follow you that are not realtors? And then again, if somebody wants to follow you on a social media post, I am really uncomfortable when people ask to be my friend, and I go look to see who they are. And if they don't seem like a real person, I don't care if they have mutual friends. If they don't have like a real profile that looks like a real person, I get lots of creepy people from foreign countries saying they want to follow me. And I just like get rid of them, because I think they're just trying to hack my Facebook, and I don't want to be hacked. But do I want people on Instagram I don't want just a bunch of realtors following me, right? I want to get people who are not realtors following me. Yeah. So what happens if everybody on my Instagram is a realtor? Do I like not want that, or like what's the goal here?
The beauty of having realtors on your Instagram is, as you know, especially from our little Pivot family, we comment on everything.
I like those people.
Yeah.
I want my Pivot people, but other people, do I want them? Do I want those people?
If you're on Instagram, for the most part, you're gonna get people that spam you and say post on this platform. You're gonna get people on,
right.
Stuff. So it's like you have to ask yourself when you're
Join
gonna come
EXP.
into this. Yeah. I had one guy actually last week do that. But you have to ask yourself what it is that you're actually trying to do.
Okay.
You have to build the infrastructure for what your end goal is. For me, my end goal, for me right now personally, the infrastructure I'm trying to build is beyond me selling houses. So everything that I'm doing is to have me boost myself as an Instagram, as a realtor, but then also as an investor, and then also as a literal like public figure. And so I'm going about things a different way than other people might. But if your goal is to solely just get from, not using Instagram at all, to get people that, transact with real estate, most of the people that are going to follow you aren't even going to be in your actual country. I mean, not in your country, in your state or your city. That's very rare.
No, I don't mind that. I don't mind people in other states, but like sometimes the local people, like then they start posting all their stuff on my group and just,
So get them on Instagram, because on Instagram there's only followers and stuff on Instagram. So on Facebook, be more diligent about who you allow to enter the circle.
Instagram is more like
fair
just
game.
It's okay, everybody can come. Okay, all right, thank you for that.
Mm-hmm.
Appreciate it.
Glenda, I think you raised your hand again.
Hello,
Sorry, John. No, I just forgot to lower.
And then Valerie, you have the very last question, because we are at 101. So,
okay. Would you be interested in doing maybe a workshop or two? Like, for instance, Nisi, don't do that. Mini chat, because I mean, that sounds really, really interesting. I would pay, and I don't know about anybody else, but I'd pay to learn more about that. And also too, you're showing us a lot of really cool stuff, and it's just like hitting me, and I'm just like, I don't know how to do any of this stuff.
Yeah, so definitely, and for you guys, the 50 or so that you guys signed up, you guys are like my super VIPs. I'm gonna make sure you guys get all the extra love and care, and just provide as much value to you guys as I can in terms of like the social media space, because if it's not apparent, that's where I'm trying to go, and that's how I'm trying to go my business, is specifically through social media. And so everything I'm doing is to become the very best in this one area. Some people do cold calling, some people do, are the best door knockers, some people are the best geographic farmers. I don't know. Social media is my bread and butter, and that's what I'm going to use to become the conqueror of the world, essentially. Nah, just kidding. But it's what I want to grow with. But yeah. We'll sneak in one more. I might butcher your name.
Nishat.
Nishat. Okay.
Yes. Hi. My question is, I know you said that it is best just to have one Instagram account.
Yes.
So is it possible to delete an Instagram account?
Yeah. You just go to your settings. When you're on your profile, you click the top right hamburger icon that I mentioned earlier, and then you scroll to the bottom. It should have an option there to delete your Instagram account.
Okay.
Okay. And the very last thing I want you guys to see. So, of course, I'm going to have a class up and coming. I haven't set a date yet, but I'm thinking probably Q4. For you guys that are still here, and I'm probably redo this class because I know a lot of people had issues joining. Do you guys want to learn how I make 30 to 40 videos in only about an hour and a half by my content creating tycoon strategy? Or would you guys want to learn more about top mistakes to leave behind for social media in 2022? Put a 1 in the chat for the top one, put a 2 for the bottom. And okay, it seems like number one it is. Both. Number one for sure. Okay, number one looks like it's the winner. So that's what my next class is going to be on. Probably maybe I'm mark some time for November. I'm going to work on this. I'm also recently had a lady who's a publicist in Canada. So we might combine to do like a social media plus PR media collab class type of thing, where we go over social media and also how to get into articles and get into, magazines and interviews on TV and things like that. So I interviewed her for my podcast, and we're going to try and work something out to collab. So thank you guys so much for attending this seminar. I really do appreciate your time. I know we went a little bit over. I'm going to be redoing this one for anyone that didn't join or for anyone that want to come back. And then for the most part, I'm going to start also to send you guys out a monthly newsletter every month. So instead of pick me, your Connecticut referral partner, I'm going to be saying, here's your social media tip for the month. And just keep on, giving out tips and tricks for social media and help everyone become the influencer that they desire to be. So yeah, that is it for my seminar. I appreciate all you guys' time. Thank you.
John, how often are you going to be doing this? Sorry for butting in.